Hi everybody and welcome to DIY Immigration channel. The whole idea of DIY Immigration is to give power in your hands so that you can take care of your immigration application without running after agents. And I am Amit Verma, your friend, and helping you do immigration the DIY way. Today I am going to talk about a very important and a very often asked question that I am getting from a lot of people, and that is about spouse visa. Now spouse visa is something that has always been an important aspect of the visa process, but more so after COVID it has become extremely important because there are lots and lots of couples, especially professionals, who are on a career break, forced career break because of COVID, and are now looking to gain knowledge, are looking to gain an academic push, a degree, and or a credential to boost their careers, as well as go to a foreign country to live their dream life. And all of that comes together through the spouse visa. One of the couple takes the IELTS exam, and it is a challenging one for people to study. So one of the couple takes an IELTS exam and the other couple goes on an open work permit and works there, earns money while the first person studies and does part-time work or maybe take care of the child. So this is very important and a high demand question that I have been getting from a lot of people. So I thought let me just make a video and make it very clear as to what it is, and I'll try to keep it as short and simple. All the relevant details will be there in the description, government links, so just go there. If you want to know more or write me an email, I will try to keep it crisp and short for you. First thing, and the most important thing in a spouse visa is that you must establish relationship. Now this is something that is often ignored. We feel that we have a proof of marriage, let's say we have a court marriage document, or we have a marriage certificate. We feel that's great, we are sorted for this area, but for the visa officer this is the most important thing that he or she is going to look into. Why? Because that actually shows whether this is a genuine or a fake marriage, or whether the couple have been together, and that's a very important criteria. Do not miss this. So how do we do that? Relationship establishment comes in various factors, and there could be various permutations and various things which determine relationship, and there are thousands and thousands of cases you will hear where chats have been asked, and video calls have been asked, screenshots of video calls have been shared by couples to establish that yes, they are in touch. So very important, do not ignore this. Whatever has been your journey in your relationship, try to document it right away and keep it with you, because that's what visa officer will like to look into. So very important aspect to take care of, friends. The other aspect which I want to talk about is very important, that you must first look at which category of the marriage or the spouse category you belong to. Now I have divided practically into three categories for help. First is that people who are married for long number of years and they have children or a child. Now those are people who I would tell you that you are most sorted of all the categories, and 99.999% I will say you will go together. You don't even have to wait. You will go together as a couple, as a family to, let's say, Canada or any other place, because you are sorted. You have everything, except if you don't make any silly mistakes. That's where we will help. That's where you can take care of things as well. But on the principal level, you are the most sorted and you will definitely get the visa. The other aspect or the other category that I want to talk about is people who have married more than a year, yet to have children but are married for more than a year. You guys are also good. You must have all the documentation in place, and you must take care of establishing the relationship, and few other documents I'll talk in the last. But you are also majorly sorted. You may not be able to go immediately together, but within 6 months you are going to be in Canada, most of the cases. Now the third category is where the whole problems arise, and those are couples who have just been married, newlyweds. whose marriage has not been more than a year long. And here also there are two categories: people who got married and then they applied for their offer letters or their visa, and then there are couples where they have got their study permit or offer letter, at least offer letter or maybe a study permit, and then they have got married. Now for the second case where you just got married after the visa process, please don't apply it together. There's no point. Majority of the cases you will get a refusal. There's no point of carrying a refusal on your file. My advice is wait at least for 9 months or a year and then apply for the spouse. The first person goes to, let's say, Canada, studies there for a year, and then after that file for your spouse. And for those people who got married before their offer letters and before the visa, I would say, if you have this in your head that you want to go as a couple, even marry before your IELTS exam. At least marry before your offer letters. Very, very helpful. So marry before your offer letter and then you apply for visa. That would mean that in June you would have more than 5-6 months in between where you would be married. So establish that. Stay together. Put out all kinds of documents, like I said, video calls, chats, family functions, get-togethers. Document all of that. Click pictures, keep them in your archival to establish that yes, there is a relationship between the couple that is developing, and it is not just a paper marriage or a contract marriage just for the sake of going to Canada. Very important. So just make sure that newlyweds, you have these things in place, right? You have your parties and you going out together, maybe trips that you have taken together. Great proof. In COVID you may not have been able to do that much, but if the girl is staying at the house of this groom, that's perfect, that's great. So try to do this. Do not just rely on a marriage certificate. I'm telling you, that's not gonna work, because there are instances in India, especially a lot of our friends, a particular community, who have been using this as a contract marriage bypass. They'll just do a contract marriage, go there and whatnot. So be mindful, be careful, so that you are not making that mistake. Alright. So as I told, pick your category first, figure out your documents then, and establish relationship, the most critical element of the spouse visa. Then if you are one of the persons is in Canada and the other person will now travel, make sure that you have all other things in place, like proof of stay. A rental agreement would be very handy, and a rental agreement that says that yes, there is space for another person to fit in really well. Maybe a double bed or a room that is only for you exclusively, so that your husband could come in or wife could come in and stay with you. Very helpful. From the landlord, get it on a piece of paper. Second, wherever you are doing your job part-time or with few of the employers that you have been working, try to get them, and this is a tricky one, but try and get a letter which says, it's like an open-ended letter saying that if so and so person comes to Canada on their own, that is, the employer is not sponsoring an LMIA, if they come on their own, they will be happy to recruit that person. So that would be really, really helpful. Because that means that there is a plan to settle well financially. You won't be a burden on anybody. Third thing that you could work out would be your general settlement plan. Put out that okay, this is the area I am staying, my husband comes in, we are looking at so and so place to stay, if you don't have a rental agreement as of now. Or you say that okay, these are the places. We have also started looking at real estate prices or real estate companies for a brokerage on a apartment and such similar things, so that it shows that there is a certain degree of settlement together that you are planning. Now, all of that done, the last thing that I want to talk about, and that we'll do quickly, is that wherever you're applying, make sure you're applying to a designated learning institution. It must not be any institution in Canada for your study permit. So a designated learning institution that offers a post-study work permit, critical, because, and it has to be a public institution. If it is not a public institution, it is not offering a post-study work permit and is not a DLI, you will not get your spouse visa, period. So make sure that you are in the right place, and that is why take counseling, check online, check about the institution you are applying, talk to your agent if you have one. If you don't have one, go online, check it out. If you still get confused, just write to us, write me an email. I'll try to help, I'll try to direct you to the right links so that you get to know that you are applying to the right place. Now, all of this, as I said, is critical because spouse visa is not a piece of cake. Don't expect that you will get a spouse visa right away. Alright, now coming back to my married couples with kids, you are more sorted. Just make sure all your documents are in place, you follow the checklist, you have the financial documents in place to take care of the baby and the spouse as well. Plus, you have a plan in mind about the daycare that you have to plan for your child, because both of you may just be out. So with that in mind, I think you will be sorted and you will be able to get the visa. I hope all of you, this is clear to you, you get a sense of what it is, and quickly through this short video you are able to determine what all goes into it, especially the relationship bit, and then you apply. Just don't be blindsided, just don't believe any agent on verbia just saying okay, we'll get you done. No, don't even fall for that trap of payment after visa. Don't go for that. Look at your documents, look at your situation, look at your relationship establishment, then only apply, then only proceed. And I hope that I'll be able to help you in your journey. If you have any questions regarding spouse visa, or if you want a DIY approach to spouse visa where we only guide you, you do your stuff and make sure that you're not making a mistake. That's what I do. I'll be happy to help. Just drop me an email. I'll drop my email as well in the description along with the other links as I promised. And I hope this helps you and makes you reach your dream destination with your family. On that note, bye bye and see you again.